you planning a move from Chicago and thinking about moving to Colorado? This video is for you. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's Alyson Wahl with Live South Denver. I am a real estate strategist and realtor in the South Denver area. I specialize in helping people relocate to the Denver market. So you're thinking about moving from Chicago and to Denver? I know you really want to know, what am I going to miss? What am I going to love? What is the cost of living difference? Fill me in. Well, that's what I'm going to do in this video. So the first thing, let's get started with, what do other transplants have to say about life here in Denver after leaving the Windy City? I love the mountains, the hiking trails, better weather, blue skies, and less humidity. I miss good pizza. I don't miss everything else. I lived in the Chicago suburbs for 27 years, Colorado for 20. I will never go back, all caps. The winters here are 100 times better. Sun is always out, no humidity, mountains, slower pace. I could go on and on. What do we love about Denver? The sun. When it snows, it doesn't sit in your yard from first snow to spring. It is gone most of the time by the end of the day, and at most after a few days. No bugs, no humidity. During the winter, you can mostly get by with just a jacket. I do not miss waiting for the L or Metra at Irving Park while the wicked wind-cold snow swirls around me. Winters and the pace of life are way better in Denver. This person says, I don't miss horrendous downtown traffic, endless tolls, unreal taxes on literally everything. The weather's never pleasant. It's always either too hot, too cold, too humid, too windy, raining, snowing, or storming. I could go on. The outdoor activities that don't include being on the water are never an option in Chicago either. The outdoor activities, there's always something to do. Walking, hiking, shopping, visiting other areas. Lastly, the people. The people of Colorado have been extremely friendly so far. We're staying. Wow, that is lots of raving reviews about Colorado from all of our Chicago transplants. Well, clearly weather came up over and over and over again and is one of their favorite things. So let's jump right in and talk about that. Denver's average annual high in the winter is around 40 degrees and the low is around 20. From June to September in the summer, our high runs in the 80s and 90s and our lows are in the 50s and 60s. High 50s, mid 60s. Chicago has similar low temps in the winter in the 20s. In fact, they don't even trend as low as Denver's do. But your highs don't go as high either. You only get into the 30s. That same trend is there for summer. Your lows don't go as low and your highs actually don't go as high. With lows in the 60s and 70s and highs in the 70s and 80s, on paper, Chicago looks really good. So why is it that everyone was raving about our Denver weather? I think you already know. It's the humidity. We just don't have much of it. The average annual humidity in Denver is around 37%, 30 in the winter and 40 in the summer. But in Chicago, the average annual humidity is 70%, so almost double what we've got here. Denver's weather is and feels pretty mild. We definitely have hot days, and being so close to the sun, there are times it can feel like you are literally roasting. Your skin will feel crispy and hot. And we do have what I consider to be cold days. I am probably a bit of a pansy, as I am a native Southerner, though I've been here a very long time, but I suspect you sturdy Midwesterners won't think our cold days are very cold. The first snow here in Denver is almost always in October. I have seen it come in September, but it's usually in October, and most parents will tell you inevitably it is on Halloween weekend. Sometimes it's sooner, and if it is, it's probably still gonna snow on Halloween. Our last snow is usually in April and sometimes in May. We do follow the don't plant before Mother's Day weekend rule here. We do get good sized storms here, 24 inches, 22 inches, 36 inches on occasion. Those are pretty rare, but I've seen it. But I think you're still gonna see that we get a lot less snow, and what we do get melts away pretty quickly, and all of that is because we have 300 days of sun here every year. So even though the storm comes through and dumps quite a bit, it moves on pretty quickly and the sun comes out, and with the great plows and service we have here, the streets are pretty clear very quickly. What about wind? I did have someone tell me that there was no wind here in Denver, particularly compared to Chicago. They may not have been here for very long. We have what are called Chinook winds, and those are winds that come down from the mountains, and the cool air meets the warm air, and boy does it churn. We get some very windy days here. If you have watched any of my other videos yet, or you plan to, you will get my true opinion on those windy days. Okay, did we miss anything about weather? We've covered sun, wind, snow, humidity, and temperatures. Oh, I don't want to forget the hail and thunderstorms too. We get those. The hail can be pretty big. Let's talk cost of living. You never want to jump from one place to another without having at least some idea. Is it going to cost you more or less, or are they kind of the same? When I look up cost of living data, I use these two sites, bestplaces.net and nerdwallet.com. If you'd like to explore more, I recommend those to you as well. Well, here's the interesting story. These two sites don't have any compelling data for either city one way or the other. NerdWallet says Chicago is 18% more expensive than Denver, with 13% of that being due to housing costs. On the other side of the coin, bestplaces.net says Denver is 17% more expensive than Chicago. They also say that housing is a whopping 46% less in Chicago than in Denver. In talking with friends and clients who've made the move from Chicago to Denver, most of them do not see that drastic of a difference in cost of living or housing prices in particular that bestplaces.net suggests, that 46% difference. Let's talk taxes. Taxes are moderate in Colorado compared to the country, and this is true when you compare them to Illinois as well. The effective local and state combined tax rate for Colorado is 8.58%. The effective state and local combined tax rate for Illinois is 14.96%. Property taxes are also very different between the two states. Colorado's effective property tax rate is 0.53%, while Illinois' effective property tax rate is 2.3%. So what do property taxes look like in the real world here in Colorado? If you bought a $500,000 house, you're gonna pay just shy of $5,000 in property taxes here each year in the South Denver area. In some neighborhoods, you'll actually pay about half of that. If you live in an area that has a metro district, which is predominantly new construction, larger, newer homes, you may pay a smidge more than the $5,000. But hopefully that helps you wrap your head around what our property taxes look like, particularly in the South Denver area. It seems that weather was truly the big draw for so many Chicagolanders moving to Denver, but there are lots of places across the country that have beautiful weather. So what else makes Denver a great attraction? Well, I heard no bugs quite a bit, and I have to agree. I'm from the South originally, and we really hardly have any bugs here at all. We have bees, we have wasps, we sometimes get mosquitoes in a noticeable amount. In the South, you would have seen me covered from head to toe in them if I stepped outside for more than 10 minutes, and I just don't have that problem here. And we do have spiders here, and I see them outside enough that I think it's usually helpful to spray your house to make sure they stay outside where they belong. Traffic here is not as bad as in the Chicago area from what everyone has told me. When you move here, you will hear us complain about it. We don't like the traffic we do have, but our traffic does plug along and keep moving. The only time I can't make any promises about traffic is when you're headed to the mountains. Our great neighborhoods with trails and rec centers and neighborhood movie nights and food truck events are also a huge draw for people that make their transition here to the Denver area. The moderate cost of living, thanks to a good tax rate, is another draw. And then the creme de la creme, the reason everyone really loves Denver and Colorado, the amazing lifestyle and the quick access to all of our stunning nature. The rock climbing, the biking, the hiking, the jogging, paddleboarding, the leaf peeping, all of it right outside your back door. Plus there's skiing and snowshoeing and rafting all just a short drive away as well. And if you're moving here with kids and they need to up their ski game, check out our Epic School Kids Ski Pass, which gives your kids 4 free days of skiing at 5 different ski resorts. All right, I have given you loads of the good stuff about Colorado, but you and I both know it's not always just good stuff when you're moving away from a place that you've lived for a long time, especially one of the most iconic cities in the US. So let's talk about the things you might miss if you're leaving Chicago. Oh, and before we do, hey, grab your free South Denver relocation guide. It's in the description box down below. Make your request and I'll send that right out to you. The number one thing missed, food. There could not be enough talk about how many people missed Portillo's, Chicago-style pizza, all the ethnic food and cuisine. You name it, there just are not sufficient substitutes in the Mile High City. The water. I can't tell you how many people expressed missing large lakes and bodies of water, because that is just not something that we really have here. We have reservoirs and places you can go boating and fishing, but it is nothing like what you have there in Chicago. Iconic sports. Let's be real, if you are a diehard Bears, Bulls, White Sox, or Cubs fan, it doesn't matter who we have here in Denver. Your teams have so much history, and if you're vested in them, the only plus side to what we have here in Denver is that your teams will play here and you can go see them. Another thing you might miss is Chicago's big city vibe. Denver is an amazing city, but for those of you who love the vibe of Chicago, Denver is just a different animal altogether. While so many who've moved here appreciate our laid-back vibe, there was still a part of them that missed the ability to turn it up a notch and go spend the night on the town in Chicago. Check out these videos to learn more about what life is like here in Denver, and if moving here is on your wish list or in your plans, reach out to me. I would be happy to serve you how I can. Shoot me a text, give me a call, or send me an email. I can't wait to see how I can help you. I'll see y'all next week.